Nadia Harlow, 58, briefcase in one hand, phone in the other, almost walked straight past the young woman sitting on a concrete planter. The stranger was maybe 30, coat threadbare, cradling a sleeping infant against her chest. The baby's knit cap had slipped, tiny fingers clutched the mother's collar. Something in the quiet way the woman shielded him from the wind stopped Nadia cold. She doubled back. Here. Nadia pressed a matte black key fob into the woman's palm. Willow Lake Cabin. 40 minutes north. Empty for months. I'm leaving for 6-month contract talks, maybe longer. Use it. There's heat, food, a crib in the loft. Just keep him out of the cold. The woman blinked, stunned. You're serious? You don't know me. Doesn't matter. Nadia was already turning toward the terminal. I'm Nadia. Call the caretaker if the boiler acts up. I have to make this flight. She vanished through the glass doors, leaving the stranger staring at the keys like they might disappear. Nadia had run Harlow Global Packaging since she was 25. Her father's sudden stroke had dropped the keys to a mid-size corrugated empire in her lap. She had turned it into a $180 million enterprise while the rest of her life remained neatly compartmentalized. No husband. No children. Only board meetings, quarterly forecasts, and her mother Evelyn's nightly sermons about wasted years. That evening, after a 16-hour merger marathon, Nadia found Evelyn at the kitchen counter, chamomile tea untouched, eyes locked on a nature documentary she wasn't watching. Midnight again, Evelyn said without looking up. When do you plan to stop running yourself into the ground? Nadia uncorked Malbec instead of answering. The first swallow tasted like regret. You act like I chose solitude, she said quietly. Like I wanted to spend 30 years keeping the factory solvent while you and Dad auditioned every suitor and found them all defective. Evelyn turned, eyes narrowing. We wanted you protected. Protected. Nadia's voice rose. You sent Daniel packing because he lacked ambition. You warned me Marcus would raid the company. Then Dad died, the board panicked, and I became CEO before I'd even grieved. When exactly was I supposed to build a life? Evelyn stood. You could have stepped back. Other women. Other women weren't shouldering 200 payrolls and a legacy. Nadia's glass hit the marble. I gave up everything so the plant wouldn't die with Dad. And now I'm 58, childless, and you still lecture me like I'm the failure. Evelyn's face crumpled. Don't you dare blame us. We gave you everything. You gave me duty, Nadia whispered. And I obeyed. She climbed the stairs, closed her bedroom door, and cried until the sobs turned silent. Morning came. Evelyn was gone. Bed made. Phone charging. Coat still on the hook. Nadia called every contact, every hospital, every precinct. Nothing. Private investigators traced nothing. 6 months passed. The trail vanished. Nadia threw herself into the overseas deal. What should have been 12 weeks became 26. Endless revisions, new compliance demands, renegotiated tariffs. She signed the final agreement in Dubai, drained but victorious. The company would triple capacity. Her father's name would endure. She landed home on a damp October evening, 6 months and 12 days after Evelyn disappeared. Instead of the brownstone, she directed the driver to the lake cabin. She needed to see what had become of her reckless impulse. The drive wound through pines. The cabin appeared, lights glowing, flower boxes bursting with late asters, a child's rain boots lined up on the porch. Smoke drifted from the chimney. Nadia stepped out, pulse loud in her ears. Laughter spilled from the rear deck. She rounded the house and froze. In a cedar Adirondack sat an elderly woman in a cream sweater, bouncing a curly-haired toddler on her lap. The boy squealed as the woman pointed at mallards drifting across the water. Nadia knew the slope of that shoulder, the silver braid pinned at the nape. She knew it like her own heartbeat. Mom. The woman looked up, polite and blank. I'm sorry, dear. Have we met? Nadia's knees nearly gave. It's Nadia. Your daughter. A gentle head shake. I don't think so. But you're welcome to join us. We're watching the ducks. The cabin door opened. Lila, the young mother from the airport, stepped out with a tray of cocoa. She stopped dead when she saw Nadia. You're home. Nadia pointed, hand shaking. That's my mother. Evelyn Harlow. She vanished 6 months ago. Police, detectives, nothing. How is she here? Lila set the tray down slowly. Sit. They sat while the toddler toddled after a falling leaf.
Lila spoke in low tones. 5 days after you left, I took Milo down to the shore trail.
I found her standing on the footbridge, coat open, staring at the lake like she'd lost her place in the world. She kept repeating, "The cabin. Henry's cabin."
When I asked her name, she said Evelyn.
When I asked where she belonged, she gave this address.
I brought her inside.
She walked straight to the fireplace, touched the stones, and started crying. Said, "Henry and I laid every one of these ourselves." Nadia pressed knuckles to her mouth.
Henry was her father.
She remembers everything until his death, Lila continued.
After that, blank. No daughter. No business. No city house.
The neurologist called it probable transient amnesia following a small ischemic event.
Sometimes pieces return.
Sometimes they stay gone. Nadia watched her mother lift Milo to point at a loon diving. The boy patted her cheek and giggled. "You kept her safe," Nadia whispered.
You fed her.
Let her hold your son when she couldn't remember her own daughter.
Lila shrugged. She kept me grounded. Milo calls her Nana. She reads him the same picture books every night.
I couldn't turn her away. Nadia looked at the cabin, her father's refuge, now warm with voices and small shoes.
I want you both to stay, she said. Not temporarily. Permanently. There's a 2-bedroom suite upstairs.
You'll have a full-time accounting position at the company, official payroll, health benefits, everything. Milo gets daycare, preschool when he's ready. And Mom, her voice cracked. Mom stays with us. I'll bring in specialists, therapists, whatever she needs.
Lila's eyes brimmed.
Nadia, you already gave us sanctuary when we had nothing left. You don't owe. I owe her 6 months I thought were lost forever, Nadia cut in. And I owe you the same 6 months of safety you gave her.
Let me make it right. They sat in silence while the sun slipped behind the ridge.
Evelyn carried Milo to the table, settled him in Nadia's lap without hesitation, then kissed his forehead. He likes you, Evelyn said brightly. You have gentle hands. Nadia pulled her mother close, breathing in lavender and memory. Evelyn patted her back the way she had when Nadia was small, steady, instinctive, unconditional. Everything will be all right, sweetheart, Evelyn murmured, not knowing the woman she held was her daughter, yet soothing her anyway. Nadia closed her eyes and let the tears fall freely. Sometimes the family you thought you'd lost forever finds its way back, disguised as kindness, wrapped in someone else's courage, waiting on a porch you hadn't visited in 30 years.